This excursion has proved more relaxing than I expected. It has been some time since I last visited Name. Yet Issei often visits the enclave of young Azami, so we do not want for news from the village. Ready to cast off.
Get back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Are you all right?
Hi.
What do they want with you?
Yuki, and you lot too. I don't know. We were returning from the Enclave when they came at us.
It seems they won't go quietly.
And neither will we.
I will not let you harm these innocents.
Away with you!
It is nothing.
I grow tired of these games. Where are our reinforcements?
Leave this to me.
All this for 2 children. What do they even want with them?
No quarter!
They mean to overwhelm us. See to the reinforcements, quickly. Now, aim for the young ones.
An opening.
Stand in front of them. We'll bear the brunt of it.
I have you!
The art of my forebears.
If they would call for reinforcements, then so shall we. Quickly, protect the children.
Taste my steel! That seems to be the last of them. You have nothing to fear, child. You are safe now.
Thank you, sir.
You saved us again. Thank you. If you're ever passing by our village, look us up. You'll always be welcome.
Thank goodness we arrived when we did.
Indeed. But what could have prompted the Red Kojin to stray so far from the Ruby Sea?
I presume these are the sellswords hired by Tsuyu. If so, the answer is simple. Desperation. Bereft of imperial employment, they seek other means to line their coin purses. Another sad legacy of the Empire's mismanagement.
The Empire to which you have sworn allegiance.
Must you always be so pointed? If we are to bring about lasting change, we must look beyond narrow allegiances. You have every right to doubt me, but in time, I hope you will come to see that we share a common goal. You and yours have fought fiercely to change the Empire from without, but if we are to end the cycle of conflict, the Empire must change from within. Am I wrong?
Not about that. True reform can only come from within.
I knew you would understand. You have witnessed such change firsthand, after all, during your time in Ishgard.
The Red Kojin's presence here does not bode well. We must inform Lord Hien. Quite the swordsman, isn't he? I wonder, did the Empire train him to kill before or after appointing him ambassador? Dear me, I had hoped to convey my views on our nation's shared hopes under more peaceable circumstances. Yet this regrettable little interlude did afford me a chance to see the famed hero of Eorzea in action, and few Imperial soldiers can say that. At least, few who live to tell the tale. Well, after that little ordeal, I believe it may be time for us to return to the Enclave. Return, my lord, but what of Namai? They seemed eager to observe the villagers going about their daily lives. To be frank, I still am, but I'd rather doubt the good people of Namai would take kindly to the sight of a man in imperial uniform with blood still dripping from his blade. Even in your company, my presence would only prove a distraction. Fret not, however. Thanks to the three of you, I have seen a great deal more than I otherwise would, and with any luck, Lord Hien will have finished concerning my proposal by the time we return. Did you see the sincerity in his eyes when he spoke with Azami? I feel strange saying this, but what if he truly has come to sue for his peace? I trust you will inform Lord Hien of our encounter with the Road Kojin. If we are to deter them from encroaching on Yangxia, our response must be swift and decisive. I understand you served as the ambassador's escort. My thanks. Thank you again for agreeing to join me. If not for your aid, the Kojin may well have overwhelmed us. Pray go on ahead. Lord Hien is expecting you. We will remain without and keep watch over our guest. Well, we had best not keep him waiting. You're expected, sir. Shall I show you in? Judging by the sparkle in Alphino's eyes, the discussion was riveting. How sorry am I to have missed it. Master Alphino has shared with us the knowledge of the icons, and reminded us of the threat they pose in so doing. It is strangely comforting to know that the Empire shares our concern. Feeling refreshed, I trust. We have considered the ramifications of this proposal from every angle, and I believe Lord Hien has reached a decision. Welcome back, my friend. Yugiri tells me you accompanied her and Asahi on a tour of Yangxia. I thought you might take the opportunity to recover from your exertions at Sakazuki. But I gather your time was well spent. Until the ambassador affords Yugiri a chance to make a full report, however, we must rely upon you to supply the details. So please, tell us how it all unfolded. The Red Kojin here. Have there been any other such incidents since the liberation? Not that I'm aware of. They're planning some new venture here in Yangxia. We will need to increase patrols. In any event, I am indebted to you for fighting them off. But tell me, and don't be modest, was Asahi truly the first to leap to the youngster's aid? He was. I was quick to doubt him when we first met, but his desire to save them seemed quite genuine. It's possible he truly believes what he's saying. In the time I've known you, you've always been an excellent judge of character. What do you make of the ambassador? I still don't think he can be trusted. Then the question of what his true intentions may be remains. Regardless of his aim, I'm resigned to playing his game, for now at least. Well, forswearing summoning should be simple enough, considering we never dabbled it in the first place, which just leaves the somewhat thornier question how to police the Red Kojin. It was with that very question in mind that I sought Alphino's counsel. Next to his knowledge of the icons and the rituals used to invoke them, I believe we've identified a workable solution. As you will recall, Susanna was summoned forth using the powers of relics locked away in the Kojin's treasure vault on the Isle of Zeki. Though said relics remain there to this day, it is all but certain that the act of summoning exhausted their stores of ether, making subsequent summonings impossible. Assuming that is the case, preventing the primal's return rests on denying the Red Kojin the means to amass new stores of ether, either by the acquisition of crystals or the relics they are wont to collect. For this, I plan to enlist the aids of our friends, the Blue Kojin. Since Doma's liberation, we have forged closer bonds with Bunchin and his people, and with their support, I am quite confident we can keep the Red from obtaining what they require to call upon the Susanna. And what of the prisoners? They will be exchanged as agreed, and I will give full credit to Asahi for the success of the transaction. If there is aught we can do to help the Popularis garner favor, I mean to see it done. But first, I have some unfinished business to attend to. Will you all come with me? Yes, of course, but what manner of business? Past mistake which I would see put right. One which has weighed heavy on my mind.
I had her brought here in secret while the three of you kept our guest company. The world has not been kind to you, it is true. But that does not excuse your sins. You should be at the bottom of the river. Yet here you are, the living, breathing proof of my failure. A failure for which I would now make amends.
What did I do? I don't remember. Was it really so terrible? Tell me, please! What did I do?
You speak of sins, my lord. But at whose feet do those sins lie? With the soldiers who committed the crimes, or those who commanded them to do so? With both, I would say. For all have a conscience, and all must choose. But with no memory of who she is, or what she has done, what sin remains to be cleansed?
You ask that I show mercy.
I ask why the heavens saw fit to deny me my rest. Why Tsuyu was spared not only death, but the bitter memories of her life.
You truly think it the will of the Kami? If so, her life is not mine to take. It is yours to safeguard. Come the hour of the exchange, if her memories have not returned, she may remain here in Doma to live out her days as Tsuyu. But if they do, the Guardians shall have their viceroy. Though the people will protest, they will come to accept my decision when they have been reunited with their loved ones.
Thank you, my lord.
Now then, I believe we have kept our guest waiting long enough. Did Gosetsu not seem strange to you? His sympathy for your Tsuyu apart, I mean. I know his powers of endurance only too well, but after all he has suffered, even he should not be on his feet. He puts on a brave face for our sakes, but it would not surprise me if he lacked the strength to raise his blade. Though I suppose if he and Tsuyu are to enjoy a life of peace and quiet, he will have little use for it. It falls to us to shape that future, one in which he need never again set foot on the battlefield.
I had no idea Yatsuki's return weighed so heavily on Lord Hien's mind. I couldn't say if Tsuyu's predicament is the will of the Kami, but Gosetsu seems certainly convinced. It would seem that Lord Hien has at last reached a decision. The uncertainty in his eyes has given way to resolve. Let's see. Yes, maybe. Yes. With Tsuyu safely in Gosetsu's care, all that remains is to answer Asahi's proposal. I realize that other matters demand your attention, but I would ask that you stay a while longer to see this business through.
My apologies. Our deliberations took longer than expected.
Think nothing of it. The time afforded me the opportunity to go on a rather rousing excursion through Yansha. You have reached a decision then?
We are willing to cooperate with you in combating the Icon threat, and also in the exchange of prisoners. Assuming you accept our conditions, of course. As you know, your sister is in our care. Due to certain complications, however, we are hesitant to release her into your custody.
Complications?
She was inside Doma Castle when it collapsed. Though she survived, she remembers nothing of her past life, not even her name. To clarify, she is in our care not as a prisoner, but as a vulnerable citizen of Doma.
Are you saying you refuse to release her?
Not at all, if her memory returns before the appointed hour.
And if not, what exactly? You will accommodate her here in Doma?
Well, I sincerely doubt she will be of any great strategic value to the Empire. She spends her days daydreaming of Dango.
Dango? How dreadful. Very well. In light of our recent misstep in Sakazuki, it seems only fair that I show you the same understanding you have shown us. Though I do have one small request. Regardless of Yotsuyu's value to the Empire, she is yet my sister. Before I leave, might you permit me to speak with her in private?
Of course. Perhaps you could even bring her a plate of dango. She would be most pleased. Yugiri will see you to her chambers.
Forgive me, my lord, but has he not been gone over long? Perhaps I should... Calm yourself, Gosetsu. I understand your concern, but we have to wait. He deserves that much. I am sorry to have kept you all waiting. Thank you for your understanding. Long did I dream of this reunion, but never did I imagine it would be so joyless. Part of me hoped your stories of her condition were just that, but alas, it is as you say. Tsuyu, do you remember anything of this man? Anything at all? No. I am a stranger to her. That much was clear to me from a single look. I leave her in your care. As you wish. Now, if you'll excuse me, my superiors are long overdue a report. They will be elated to hear of our agreement, and of that I have no doubt. As for the exchange itself, once I have obtained the relevant permissions, I will arrange for your people to be relieved of their various duties and sent here to Yangsha. This will take time, of course. Of course. You may be rest assured that your soldiers will be well cared for until your return. We will also begin taking steps to better counter the threat of the Kojin and their icon. Before you take leave, there is one other matter. I'm informed that it was you who took the lead in rescuing 2 young Domans from a band of Kojin sellswords. I have not yet had the time to thank you properly. Please, there is no need to thank me. I only did what anyone would do under the circumstances. Fortunately, I was in good company at the time. And the blight of the Red Kojin is the Empire's making. Were it not for our transgressions, those children would not have needed saving. The people of Doma have suffered enough, and I promise to do all in my power to spare them further pain, be it at the hands of the Kojin or indeed the Empire. I pray the Emperor will see things as you do. There may be yet hope for us all. Until we meet again. Gosetsu. As before, I leave Tsuyu to you. I invite the rest of you to join me outside. Let's treat Asahi to a proper farewell. If Yotsuyu is to remain in Doma for good, we cannot keep her confined to this manor. People must be made to see that she is no longer the monster they remember. My dear sister's memory does not return. I pray you will take good care of her. Lord Heian has made a wise decision. Our superiors will be pleased. I wondered if the sight of her stepbrother might bring Yotsuyu back to her senses. But mayhap nothing will. Nevertheless, we must continue to watch her until we can be certain that her condition is permanent. For only our previous encounters with the Empire had been this cordial. Here's to the future, I suppose. Without the threat of Imperial attack hanging over our heads, we may devote our energies to dealing with the Red Kojin. And then there will be nothing left to impede Doma's restoration. The Ambassador's airship awaits at Castrum Fluminis. Let us be off.
I wish you a safe journey.
This has been a most enjoyable visit. I look forward to our next meeting. Maxima, would you take the others and see that all is ready for our departure? I simply cannot leave without first giving thanks to the Warrior of Light for accompanying me through Yansha. Mark me, savior of the savages. There will be a reckoning.
Nowhere left to run, traitor!
Ignorant savages! Killing us will avail you naught. For every Imperial you cut down, 1,000 more will come. Abandon this foolish endeavor and surrender. You may yet serve our righteous cause.
How dare you speak of righteousness? You who forsook kith and kin to serve conquerors! Be glad I grant you this mercy. What in the... Reinforcements? No, just one! Cut him down!
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
This one is promising. Who remains to offer us resistance?
A host of rebels led by Lord Cayenne hold the Enclave across the river.
Lord Cayenne?
The king of the former king of Dorma, sir. They say he is one of the greatest swordsmen alive.
Is that what they say?
Who was that?
Surely you jest. That was Xenos Galvus, Legatus of the 12th, the Crown Bloody Prince. I heard he was strong, but that was frightening.
That was Lord Xenos. Everything you are, your power, even your face, it vexes me. Go on. Lash out like the beast you are at an emissary and jeopardize the newfound peace between Dorma and the Empire. My lord was destined to lead us unto a glorious new age. Your light is nothing to his radiance. I will cherish this moment, lock it away within my heart, until the day we meet again.
the frown? Did he say something to upset you? Are you quite well? You look as if you were about to faint in the ambassador's arm for a moment there. I thought perhaps now we could be at ease, but your expression suggests otherwise. What troubles you, Daniel?
You look troubled, my friend. Was it something he said?
Of all the memories to witness.
I had my doubts about him, but I would never have guessed he was a disciple of Zenos. My lord.
Calm yourself, Ugidi. I set no store by him or his enlightened brethren. But if by treating with them there is even the faintest hope, we might secure the return of our conscripted brothers and sisters, I must play this game. After the way I risked their lives in the rebellion, I owe them that much.
My lord, you bear no blame for their fate.
If not blame, then responsibility. They were prisoners, and still I chose to fight, knowing they could be executed in retaliation. But now we have a chance to bring them home. If it means bargaining with a monster, so be it.
My lord.
Besides, I think he likes me, which is more than some can say.
It makes no sense. Why would we bother keeping up the pretense for so long, only to drop it right before the very end? Perhaps he no longer thought it necessary, having secured Doma's cooperation in the prisoner exchange. If he truly is a disciple of Zenos, 'tis possible emotion simply got the better of him. Remaining calm around the man who slew his lord may have taken its toll. Whatever the explanation, now is not the time for hasty reprisals. We shall proceed as planned. Red Kojin must be placed under surveillance and the Garlean prisoners made ready for the exchange. But you need not concern yourself with the details. Leave the affairs to Doma to us. When the hour of the exchange draws near, we will call for you. I should certainly hope so. Whatever the Empire's true intent, we would be on hand to play our part, either to defend Doma or to help usher in a lasting peace. I had thought we might make use of this time to return to Eorzea, but given the volatility of the situation, maybe it would be best if we remained in Kugane. Agreed. Between Yatsuyu's amnesia and Asahi's dubious agenda, I'd say we have ample reason to remain in the neighborhood. If anything should happen, anything at all, you must send for us at once. Oh, I will. On that you have my word. Charting a path through the sea of troubles promises to be difficult enough. I'm not so proud as to attempt the feat alone. To Kugane, then. Tataru and the others must know of what transpired here. Soon we shall see if Tasai is true to his word. If not, I will be glad to cut out that silver tongue of his. If what you say saw of the ambassador is indication of his true nature, this prisoner exchange may not be what it seems. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if your encounter with the Red Kojin was more than a mere happenstance. Greetings, Officer. We'll be entering the Ruby of the Bazaar offices. I don't envy Lord Hien. So much rests on his decision. Since we have naught else but to attend to for the moment, perhaps we should be a good opportunity to look into the present state of Garlemald. Though, I should probably speak with Tataru first. Welcome back, Daniel! We heard about good news about Gotsetsu. I knew you'd find him. My, it seems you're all in quite the predicament. Well, should we receive any urgent missives from Doma, rest assured you will be the first to know of it. Yes, of course. We're discussing ideas how to replenish our coffers, but I suppose that can wait until any urgent news should come through the office. About that. I wish to apologize to Taro. It was reckless of me to make such a purchase without first consulting you. You may be certain, however, I mean to reimburse the science, even if it means drawing upon my personal funds. That's very thoughtful of you, but I'm sure it won't come to that. If Soroban's business proposition is as promising as it sounds, Daniel should have no difficulty wiping the red from our ledger. Forgive me, Daniel. It seems I've unwittingly heaped my financial troubles upon you. I swear I'll pay you back. Though I fear I will struggle to couple together anything of monetary value. Knowledge I can gather in abundance. To start, I plan to investigate the divisions forming within the Empire. Mayhap Real and his associates have heard something on the subject. Regardless, the more we know about the politics of Garlemald, the better our chances of predicting the Imperial's next move, which might yield you an advantage on the day of the prisoner exchange. Knowing what we do of Asahi's apparent resentment towards you, I cannot say what he hopes to gain from it. But there's even the faintest chance of lasting peace could be forged between Doma and the Empire. What choice have we but to try? Lord Hien has the right of it. Asahi may very well be a monster, but we must play his game, for now. Arranging the prisoner exchange proved easier than I thought. Yes, my lord will be most pleased. Everything is going according to plan.
Can you truly remember nothing? Nothing at all?
Were we friends?
Yes. We were good friends, you and I. In fact, I've brought you a gift. I pray that one day soon, as you gaze into that mirror, you will remember the woman staring back at you.
It's so pretty. Who are you? Who are you?
How are you feeling, my lord?
Fine, now leave me.
Actually, that's not bad at all. I'll Dragoon for a little while. What am I? 370 Reapers, 3. Whatever Asahi is planning, we cannot let him have his way. After all Lord Hien has done, the Empire cannot be suffered to hinder Doma's restoration. I will replenish the coffers, you wait and see. If all goes as planned, we will recoup the cost of Gossetsu's blade 10 times over. More often than not, it seems opportunities want to come knocking when signs are about. So long as you and yours remain here in Kugani, I'm certain a profitable venture will present itself. Daniel, impeccable timing. We've just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kojin and maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. For the Garlean's part, the Populares have sent word about a vessel bearing the Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in action. It should seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. According to the letter, Yatsuyu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave, then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you'll cope in our absence, Tataru. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Afin has been keeping a very careful account of his coins lately. I doubt he asked for a sip of water without asking for the price for it first. I am very much in favor of a peace agreement between Doma and the Empire. Loosen that imperial grip, I say, and let the trade routes breathe freely. We have spared no effort to increase the guard of every settlement here in Yaksha. Red Kojin will trouble us no more. On that, you have my word. Lord Shilzin expects you. May I show you in? We know the broad strokes from this letter, but I would hear the details of our Doman friend's progress from Lord Hien himself. Ever since he drained our coffers by buying that sword, Alphinaud has had his purse strings in a death grip. I can't even buy a cup of tea without him going on about the dangers of frivolous spending. Ah, I see my letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject on the forthcoming exchange, there was one matter I neglected to mention. Concerns Kosetsu. As you may have observed, he had returned from his ordeal rather worse for wear, despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good gods! Is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly. Which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time you receive some visitors. Why don't you spare him a moment? Tsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We'll visit him at once. Daniel, Alice, shall we?
Open wide now.
Please, Tsuyu. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon?
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you this is not.
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink. What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman! I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
They make a very convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I'm relieved to see that Kosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events! I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up. Although I suppose Kosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he has resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains. He will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Tsuyu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Yukiri, out of all of us, I would think you are the hardest to convince. So what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Tsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But the mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in character from the first. One evening I watched her as she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami, a child's game. Even the warrior shinobi would not go to such lengths. I cannot conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else I would ask for. Aye, the matter is settled. Tsuyu will become Tsuyu and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we would need to present her to the ambassador one last time to prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandable. She is good at fastening the chains around the necks. Aye. Which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. We hope. We're at your service. There's no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Guardians are on the way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. Even after weeks of surveillance, it was difficult for me to accept that Yotsuyu's condition was genuine. But not as difficult as accepting Gotsetsu's affection for her. This gift will take us to our meeting with the ambassador. We will join you at the docks once preparations have been made. Can you imagine Yotsuyu playing with bowls on the floor? I don't know that we can think of her as the same person anymore. Shall we wait here then? Lord Hien should not be long. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She is nowhere to be found. What? But the Guardians will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouting the streets as we speak, but it's possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? Fair-skinned woman, madam. I do not rightly know. Yes, my lord. Now that you mentioned, there was a lady among the passengers whom I did not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as new fallen snow it was. Was she somewhat unimportant, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No. I was merely hoping to catch her guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. Twould seem that Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come from this. That one. Remember, I must have returned. Why else would she run? Without Tsuyu, I cannot foresee how the prisoner exchange, or indeed the peace process at large, can proceed. We have to find her, and soon. Seems Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. Responsibility for her disappearance for all of this lies with me, but I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Ian, now as before. Let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let your Gary know that we've learned. I'll join you on the other side. You have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we have best divide our forces. I will take Kusakari and his surrounds. Alphino, would you take the road to Castle Fluminus? Daniel, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yazuka Manor? One the Namazu may have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Welcome to Yazuka Manor. Yes, if there's anything you care to know, you need only... Pale-skinned woman? I have seen no such traveler, I'm sorry to say. Most sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have an abundance. Unusually pale skin? Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She had just crossed the shallows east of here and was headed in the northeasterly direction, for the most part. Her steps do not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. Daniel, before you ask, our search Kasukari and his surroundings are yielded exactly not, save for this chance reunion, I suppose. Mr. Salise has gone to assist her brother at the Castro. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Hien here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Azuka Manor? Any sign of a missing guest? Towards the Mai, by the Kami. The villagers recognize her and will not end well. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the pathways. The village square is yours.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuyu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
I can't forget what that woman did to us. But I won't do anything to upset Azami. I'm not scared of her. Not anymore. All of this over a person. I fail to consider how she might endanger herself. Knowing she has the mind of a child, I should have continued my vigilance, not relaxed it. I don't know why everyone is so angry. But I got the fruit Gotsetsu wanted. I hope he likes it. That would have been better avoided. At least it did not end in bloodshed. But judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Gotsetsu's which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a person. Ha! And they say the fruit is good for the health. I do hope Gotsetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we certainly had taken the long way around, but let us continue on to Castrum Fluminus and our meeting with the Ambassador. Alphino and Alice should still be there, conducting their search. Do we have to stay here long? He'll be waiting for his fruit. I'm sure Yotsuya had fled, but it seems her memory hadn't returned after all. How foolish of me not to consider Gotsetsu craving for seasonal fruit. The Imperial airship has arrived. Whether our conscripts are aboard remains to be seen. Lord Hien informed us of the uproar at Namai. Thank the 12 you found Yotsuya when you did. Do not think what might have happened had you not. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. 'Tis time to meet with the Ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
I knew better than to trust Asahi. But that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, at least we have put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I would have sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Kosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. I suppose Tsuyu is to become an official Doman citizen. But what then? Will they keep her hidden here forever? Or might she one day be allowed to walk amongst her countrymen? So, it would seem that there will be one less prisoner at the exchange, and hope that Yotsuyu's presence here will not present further problems. We should pay a visit to Kosetsu and reassure him about Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished its claim to her, on her.
Kosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention. I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Help! Help! Help me!
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Tsuyu, a font of misery. You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks, at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugani and start a new business.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins
With you!
Tsuyu!
What?
No!
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Please. I don't want to die.
Any sign of her? What happened here? I knew what would happen if she recovered, and still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
So Sai got his way in the end, and at an unspeakable price. He really is a vile little worm, isn't he? Tsuyu hit her recovery well. I had no inkling that her memory had returned. I keep asking myself when could have happened. The meeting with her parents, perhaps. But then why she would... Nay, there's not to be gained for such conjecture. So Tsuyu returned to the bosom of the Empire after all. Can't say I'm surprised. But what I struggled most to fathom is Asahi's aim in all this. We have recovered the Neris remains, and we will hold the cremation anon. Would that they have never again set foot in Doma. I broke the news to Gotsetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best he be allowed to spend some time alone with his thoughts. So, my friends, that which we feared has come to pass. Tsuyu has regained her memories and returned to the Imperial fold. It is by any measure a cruel test, not least for Gotsetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we are bound to surrender Tsuyu into the Guardian's hands should a condition improve prior to the hour exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. But what I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration of Xenos, it is plain that he cannot be trusted. That is to say nothing of the unexplained and continuously insist on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In such an event of such hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. Wise precaution. The main structure of the castrum fluminous is to be the stage of the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took these steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible the ambassador has arranged things to be there to be some advantage. I will slip inside to make certain that we have an unobstructed exit. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for the worse, I would hope to be at least of some use. Very good. There should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we need to ship a ferry to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, we would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibune, on the other hand, would require not only a single run and leave us with far less vulnerable on the water, assuming, of course, Rasho can be convinced to part with one. Might I take lead on this? I have had dealings with Rasho and his pirates before, and I won't be alone, will I, Dan? I suppose not. Well, that was enthusiastic. Were you hoping to join your Yurinoffin on this skulking mission by any chance? I'm certain you will make a persuasive pair, but I think that I will accompany you on these negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, Yukir. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphano and I shall be about our task. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short and Rasho maybe take some convincing. In my mind, Tsuyu is deserving of only one fate. Memory loss be damned. If you don't have the stones for it, we would be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift. Now that is a face. There's a face I did not expect to see. What brings a noble lord of Doma into the company of bildrats such as we? If you've come to offer the Doman chains a place of Guardian ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subject you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you as thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all this? Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you say own peace. Deny us our due, and we'll take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if you see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mr. Sally said. We did not come here to moralize. We came to talk. And there's more to be said. According to records recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. As you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. We would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Ian. The losses we suffered at Garleon's hands are no secret, but since we drove him out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels attacked, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Very well, the Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. But we have mended her. She has yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough down below. But when you load her up with conscripts and waterline rises, those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want people to stay dry, you'll do me the favor of swimming around the hold to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman Lords are not averse to getting the ropes wet. Not this Doman Lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, they shall be done in a trice. That's the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear a report. Look for a lad named Hinashi. And I thought I had an knack for partying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success. And yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. So Tsuyu found her way back to the Imperial. I did warn you about her being merciful. The Sekiboon is moored at Quickscape Pier. Speak with Hinashi when you have finished your swim. Hinashi? Yeah, that's me. The captain said someone would be coming to inspect the hull. You haven't finished it already, have you? For once, I'm actually glad Yagiri isn't here. Doubt she would have taken kindly to a pirate inviting him to inspect his hull. Water is so invigorating. I've not swum in the Ruby Sea since. But I should be concentrating on the task I had. I am the shipwright, or apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seemed solid enough. On the port side near the bow, you said. Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in the gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. Captain sent you to inspect the hull? Come, have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. It's quite alright, in fact. In fact, I've rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma. Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising. I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing conscripts now. Maybe my father will be around them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fares a lady? She's seaworthy. Captain, we found a small crack on the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He babbles when he's nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties and kin with the homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them. The yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot. But he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there's a life form in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, be it in Yangtze or out on the Ruby Sea. We have the duty to ensure that Ihanashi and the others like him are free to dwell where they desire. And the matter is settled. I will make preparations to cast off. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. Alphino tells me they've had a little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was hiding something, though I can't imagine what. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied and betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes await us there. Alphino seemed oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw not to concern us. The castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. Too simple a matter to plot the pursuers pass out. Hence our swiftness. Seems Yugiri and Alphino completed the task before us. They have been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will leave the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy was pledged to ship to ferry us across the One River. We now we have but one to attend the exchange and pray that the calming of these precautions were necessary. While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He will see that they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they will await us on the riverbank not far from the castrum. Would that we had some hint of the ambassador's intentions. Had we not prepared for the worst, I would be wary of going through with this at all. No matter what Atsuyu throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way. The tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? Concede we might have perhaps chosen a less ominous place to conduct the exchange. My only concern is the safe return of our people. That is what my lord wishes, and that is what shall be done. Do not worry about the ship. It will be here where it needs to be, and with Tsuyu to help. Parties assembled then. I am ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though. The tower across the river is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else SI has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover the escape and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrom's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let us play about it.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Tsuyu.
Orphan of the Naori, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish!
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting Viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning!
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
Leave this to me.
Against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Tsuyu, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorman. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!